righty, friends, we've got all that news to get to, and we are keeping an eye on live Doppler 13 radar today. We are in for another round of potentially severe storms.
Here we go again. Tonight's storms could have a big impact on your neighborhood. Right now, in fact, multiple counties in the western part of our state already are under a tornado watch.
A watch. So Sean is here tracking it all, and this could be a dicey one.
Yeah.
We're saying watch.
Yeah, for some areas here, we get this front we've talked about. We're going to have some storms that are going to rotate along this thing, and it's going to be easy to see it here in a moment. First, let's get you started locally here around the metro area. A lot of clouds. We had that wet start as expected. That was the last gasp of showers. Now we're watching, and you can see the tornado watch has been issued. It includes Crawfordsville, Lafayette, Attica, Fowler, Terre Haute, Covington. And we're watching these cells. They're not severe, but they're right along the front that will at least give them an opportunity to rotate. Temperatures, we are rain cooled, 62 Indy, 55 in Richmond. If you get severe weather, it'll be very late on the far eastern side of the state. I said it's easy to see that boundary. The dew point in Terre Haute is almost at 70 right now. That's much muggier than compared to the eastern part of the state, and it's along this front where we're going to see these storms, these initial discrete cells rotate. And it's happening over in central Illinois right now. We've got a confirmed tornado warning near Springfield. So how does this all play out for us? Those individual cells eventually become more big clusters of storms, which would increase the wind threat. This is by 6:30, 7 p.m. And as we get into the 8 and 9 p.m. hour, we're likely going to have a line of storms. Again, that may have more wind potential versus tornadic activity. Bottom line here, between now and about 11 o'clock, we do expect we're going to have some warnings and the activity will increase. More on that and your 7-day forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Sean. And of course, we want to keep you ready for today's weather impact day. Things could turn at any time. So that's why you want to download WTR Plus to follow live Doppler 13 radar, stream in-depth forecasts, and watch our extended weather coverage. When things are happening, you want our friends in a weather department near. So just download it on your TV. You could stream for free.
Now to the question educators and community leaders pretty much everywhere are trying to answer. Why are so many kids missing so much school?
An important question. The technical term for it is chronic absenteeism, and schools here in Indiana are certainly familiar with it. Emily Longnecker joins us with a closer look at the problem and then what's being done about this.
Yeah, well, you know, lawmakers are familiar with this too. Recently, Governor Braun signed into law a bill that defines what it means to be chronically absent, and that is when a student misses more than 10% of school days during a school year. That's about 18 days out of the school year, and that's for whatever reason, whether they have an excuse or just didn't show up to school. It also requires the Indiana Department of Education to further study student absenteeism and to collect data on the reasons students are missing school and publish that information every year. Now, last year, lawmakers passed a law requiring schools to meet with those parents whose elementary school kids miss more than 5 days of school within a 10-week period. This new law expands that to high school kids. Current Indiana law requires schools to call the local prosecutor if a child misses more than 10 days of school without an excuse. Under the new law, prosecutors can meet with parents to see if there's a solution to a child's poor attendance before taking any legal action. Lawmakers aren't the only ones trying to tackle the issue. This Butler University dean helped create Attendance USA, a national initiative to address the issue of student absenteeism across the country. Today and tomorrow, they're holding their first ever national conference on the issue, focusing on the why, but also solutions that look at current attendance policies.
We've created policies where only with a doctor's note you get to come back in. But yet there's some individuals that don't have access to a doctor. They may only have access to a nurse in a school system. So there is a lot of work that still needs to be done.
So this conference is happening today and tomorrow, and it's bringing together close to 300 people, parents and educators, policymakers, all of them trying to tackle this issue. They say does not have a one-size-fits-all kind of solution.
Certainly not. And why are we talking about this right now? This has been going on really since the pandemic.
Well, it has, right? That is when chronic absenteeism became an issue. And right now, the numbers are slightly down, but it is a persistent concern, and so they want to keep addressing it and tracking it.
Yeah, we actually did a story about a year ago in Muncie where that district hired assistants to specifically track to get on the phone, talk to the parents,
Right.
go knock on the door, figure out where those kids are.
And under this new law that Governor Braun signed, schools are supposed to kind of figure out why someone is absent, what the excuse is, or if it's not an excuse, and give that to the Department of Education so they can track these reasons, these excused absences and these unexcused absences.
Getting a lot of attention.
For sure.
Okay, something we will continue to track. Thank you, Emily Longnecker, reporting this afternoon. On to more news.
This afternoon, an Indianapolis father is in jail awaiting charges for allegedly killing his 5-year-old daughter.
Ashton Hackman explains what we know about the case so far, which police are just calling it heartbreaking.
Metro Police say the investigation started Monday when they were called here to a home on North LaSalle Street. They say when they arrived, they found 5-year-old Zara Arnold dead with traumatic injuries.
The girl's father told police Arnold fell down the stairs, but court documents say detectives quickly learned that was not the case. In an interview with police, the father later admitted to choking the girl because he was having an argument with his ex-girlfriend and she drove him to do it. He said he put the girl to sleep Sunday night, and when he woke up Monday, she was cold to the touch. The father admitted the girl was struggling to breathe when he put her to bed the night before. Police got a warrant to look through the cameras inside and outside the home.
A child should feel safe within their home. No child should ever be subject to this type of violence, let alone within their own home where they should be safe.
The father is still in jail awaiting charges. We're told detectives have completed their reports and it is being handed over to the prosecutors to decide if charges will be filed. Reporting on the Near East side of Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
And court records show this is not the first time police have investigated alleged abuse by the father. We are looking into past court documents, and we'll have more on 13 News at 5.
I want to take you live now to the Hamilton County Courthouse. This is in downtown Noblesville. This is where the prosecutor's office and state police are announcing charges in a criminal case. This is having to do with the disappearance of a man named Tony Bledsoe in Arcadia, which is a case that's a couple of decades old.
Yeah, so Bledsoe went missing in 1992, and now a man has been arrested and charged in his disappearance, and prosecutors say his death. Our crew is there right now. They're working to get more information on this case, and we will have a live update a little bit later. And it's official, everybody. This year's Indy 500 is sold out. Everyone, we did it.
We did. We knew it was coming. They said anticipate it. It's going to happen. And today, the Speedway officially announced it. That means 350,000 race fans will be filling the stands on Sunday for the greatest spectacle in racing. If you hadn't bought a ticket yet, you've still got options. That's the good news. General admission tickets for the infield are still available, or you can buy reserved seat tickets on the official IMS resale marketplace, but you've got to do that before midnight tomorrow. So you've got a little more than 24 hours to get that done. Carb Day tickets, by the way, are also still available. Felicia and I will be out there on Carb Day too. Looking forward to it.
Yes, we will. All right, moving along. Tonight will be a busy night downtown, okay? So here is a live look inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The fans will pack the stands in just a few hours. The Indiana Fever taking on the Atlanta Dream here at home in a little bit.
The Fever are coming off that impressive win over Chicago, right? That was in Saturday's season opener. So they're hoping to move to 2-0 when they take on Atlanta. It's a 7 o'clock tip inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. If you are headed there, don't forget your umbrella. Remember, we've got rain and storms on the way, and it's still here right now, actually. And the Fever, they're 1-0. The Dream are 0-1.
Okay.
And we're going to hear from Dom coming up in a little bit on that. You can also watch tonight's game at home. WTHR is your local TV home of the Fever, and you can watch tonight's game on our sister station, Me TV. That's channel 13.3.
Okay, if you don't want to just keep flipping through until you find it, we got you covered. Just scan the QR code you see right here on your screen. It'll take you to WTHR.com/fever. That way you can find the story and how you can watch the game over the air or on cable and where you can find it.
We like to make it as easy as possible for you. Just click that QR code right there. All right, the Pacers getting ready to fly out to New York City to take on the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, and they tip off tomorrow, but today the team practiced here in Indy, and they have had a few days of rest after beating the Cavs in Game 5.
Yeah, 13 Sports will be at the Garden for tomorrow's Game 1. The Pacers tip off against the Knicks at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We know what you're going to be doing, Sean.